Welcome to your first lesson of ACT reading strategy, section 3. It's a tough section. You don't have that much time. It's a lot of reading, a lot of details. It could be boring. We're going to break down the whole strategy for you, get you on that path. So let's do it. 10 tips to boost your score to master the reading section. These are going to be top tips we've developed after working with thousands of students, after I got a 36 on reading multiple times. Let's do it. Number 1, know the structure of the test. It's not just anything. People roll out of bed into it. Ooh, a passage. Oh, another No, there's order in this madness, okay? So what is the structure of the test? 4 passages, 35 minutes, 8.5 minutes a passage, with bubbling in maybe 8 minutes to do a passage that has 10 questions. There's prose, that's fiction. There's social studies, humanities, and natural sciences, social science, humanities, and natural sciences. All right. So those are the predictable passage types. 8 minutes per passage, which is crazy. We'll talk a lot about that. Okay. Now, step 1, and this is really absolutely key. It's pivotal, it's core, is to dumb down complicated questions. So the way that the question is asked to you is not the easiest way for it to be asked. It's not in basic English. It's always long and complicated, and what you need to do is make it a baby question. Any question starts with a who, a what, a where, a why. So the author of passage A most likely states that the wild apples growing in Tishan look like apples in the grocery store to support the point that it's a lot. It's a lot. Okay? So take a second and say, how would you summarize it, starting with either who, what, where, or why, to actually make this an easily answerable question. Why does the author say that wild apples look just like apples found in the grocery store? Why does he do that? All right. A lot of questions on the ACT are why questions. I knew I had a little head start. But there are a lot of what questions also. A what question is simple. It says, go find the answer. What is the answer? Did you read it? Did you understand it? What did they say? Okay, that's one level. Why? Start to think about it. Why did the author do that? I always talk about a video making a movie, right? Why did the movie start with a shot of his back? Oh, to shroud him in mystery. Why did they use that song there, right? When you start thinking why, now you're at the next level. So that's a lot of SAT questions. But anyway, dumb down the question. That's the key. And also, there are a lot of why questions, and we'll talk about that more as we go. Know the question types. So they don't just ask you anything, okay? It's not like they're just going to ask you anything. No, they have specific question types that they ask. Let's know them, okay? The first one, word and context. When they ask you what a word most nearly means. Now, we all know what court means, right? But it can mean seek to attract or romantically pursue or provoke. You could even do that, pass judgment upon, like at a court. So you have to look at the lines, and we'll talk about that strategy. Know the question types. Next question type is a development and function. So in the 7th paragraph, the author compares the sideman to a salesman in order to. It's why does he do this? It's a why question, right? Why? What's the function of something? Why? What's the purpose of something, right? That's what we call it. Inference. It can be inferred that the problem the author mentions refers to. This is, you have to make a little bit of a leap. You have to figure it out on your own. Inference, infer, right? But again, it's not left field. Except, this is the worst question. All of the following are said except. Now you have to go to the passage and one by one eliminate the wrong ones. This is the hardest question. I do it last, okay? Because it takes a lot of time. And I try to keep these in my head, and when I see one of them, I go and cross it out. We'll talk about the except questions. So those are the question types. And we'll talk more about the strategies, and we'll break down the question types and things like that, all right? Time yourself while you practice. 8 minutes per passage. You gotta, look, ACT reading is all about timing. All about timing. There's almost nothing relevant besides for timing. So you gotta time yourself. You need to make sure you're finishing. You need to make sure you're doing it in 8 minutes. And not just, look, people always say to me, Morris, how do I go faster? It's like, all right, let me ask you a question. When your neighbor calls and the carpool's outside, or the Uber says arriving in a minute, how do you get ready faster? And what do they answer? You just move faster, you know? It's something you got to practice. You got to move faster. You rush. You're going to rush. But how do you get questions right while rushing? Well, now that's a question, right? And we'll talk more about that. Keep moving. If you read something and you don't understand it, or you get to a question that's too hard, you don't know how to answer it, you don't have time. You don't have time to sap your energy on one meaningless detail of a passage, on one question that's not worth that many points. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Keep moving. You have to keep moving. All right, that's critical. It's key. Keep moving. You're not going to get everything right, and that's okay. But if you don't get to a passage, that's not okay. Do the passages in any order. You don't want to do prose first, do science first. Figure out which ones you like, do the ones you like first, get the questions right. Don't leave one, so I hate science, but if you're a science type, do that one first, and up to you, okay? Use line references. This is absolutely, if there's a line reference, you turn back. You always turn back. Don't memorize things or, turn back. Eliminate. Now you're going to say, Mars, this is so obvious. Or if I'm teaching this to a tutor, you say, Mars, everyone. No, it's not that obvious. I look at your paper all the time. I never saw any eliminations. I never saw not even one. It's not obvious, okay? I wish it were obvious. Eliminate. I want to see every wrong answer with a line through it. Every single one, please eliminate. Find support. Any question that doesn't have a line, there's a line. It's referring to a line. Find the line, you have the answer, okay? I call it Command F. That's my, I don't know if you guys have that on your computers, but let's say I'm searching for a word in a document. You just press Command F, you type in the word, it takes you to the word. That's what you're doing here. You're trying to find the word in the question, and then once you get it, you get the question right. Stay calm, focused, and engaged. This is big. A lot of people panic, myself included, and it is pivotal not to. So just keep trying, keep working. You never know which question is going to be that question that you badly needed, that you needed the points on, right? So we stay calm, stay focused, stay engaged, keep working. Reading's not ranked in order of difficulty, so you might be about to give up before the easiest question, unlike math, right, where it goes in order of easiest to hardest. So it's very, very important to stay focused. Each question's a fresh opportunity. And this takes training, because in the big moment on the test, I remember I took an LSAT a bunch of years ago, and I train people in this, right? And I had a bad section, and it got in my head, and I did bad on the section. I was right, but the thing that killed me more than the bad section was the next section, the one after, when I was in my head. Or I play tennis now, and you start getting in your head, and you know, right? That's the thing that kills you. It's okay to have a negative experience. We don't want negativity. That might be too much. Anyway, stay calm, focused, collected, keep working, all right? Next lesson, I'm going to actually take those strategies into action. I'm going to show them to you in a passage. For now, what I actually want you to do, though, is go through the question types and actually identify them on your own. So right now at the end, we're going to pause it, and you will actually go through these questions here and say what question type you think they are. I'll give you multiple choice, and that'll get you thinking analytically about it as opposed to just experiencing it, all right? So that's the end of lesson 1. I will see you soon.